When you think of the founding fathers of the United States, who comes to mind? Washington, Jefferson, Adams? They were all giants, no doubt. But there's one figure who stands out for his sheer range of talents, his quirky personality, and his indispensable role in shaping America. Today, we're talking about the one and only Benjamin Franklin. Born in Boston in 1706, Franklin wasn't born into wealth or privilege. He was the 15th of 17 children. His formal education ended when he was just 10 years old. Think about that for a second. In a world where pedigree and formal schooling meant everything, Franklin was an underdog from the start. But what he lacked in formal education, he more than made up for with an insatiable curiosity and a relentless drive for self-improvement. As a young boy, he was apprenticed to his older brother James, a printer. This was his university. He devoured every book he could get his hands on. He even taught himself to write better by secretly reading essays from a British magazine, The Spectator, and then trying to rewrite them from memory. He'd compare his version to the original, identify his weaknesses, and do it all over again. This wasn't just about learning. It was about mastering the art of communication, a skill that would later make him one of the most persuasive men of his era. But life with his brother wasn't easy. Feeling stifled and undervalued, a teenage Ben Franklin did something incredibly bold. He ran away. He fled to Philadelphia, arriving with only a few coins in his pocket, looking disheveled and munching on a puffy loaf of bread. It's a classic American story of reinvention. And reinvent himself, he did. Philadelphia became the canvas for Franklin's ambition. He quickly established himself as a successful printer and publisher. His Pennsylvania Gazette became one of the most prominent newspapers in the colonies. But he's probably even more famous for Poor Richard's Almanack. For 25 years, this little book was a bestseller filled with weather forecasts, puzzles, and those witty, timeless sayings we still quote today, like "A penny saved is a penny earned, and early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." Through the Almanack, Franklin wasn't just selling paper and ink. He was shaping the American character, promoting values of hard work, thrift, and practicality. But Franklin's mind couldn't be contained by the printing press. He was a civic visionary. Look around Philadelphia today, and you'll still see his legacy. He helped establish the first lending library in America because he believed everyone should have access to knowledge. He founded the city's first fire department, organized a police patrol, and was instrumental in creating the University of Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania Hospital. He wasn't just a thinker. He was a doer, a community organizer who constantly asked, how can we make things better for everyone? And then, of course, there's Franklin the scientist. We all know the story of the kite and the key in the thunderstorm. It sounds like a myth, but it was a real and incredibly dangerous experiment. Through it, Franklin proved that lightning was a form of electricity. This wasn't just a parlor trick. It led to a world-changing invention, the lightning rod. This simple device has saved countless buildings from fire and countless lives. But his inventions didn't stop there. Frustrated with having to switch between two pairs of glasses, he invented bifocals. He created a more efficient, less smoky wood-burning stove, the Franklin stove. He even charted the Gulf Stream to speed up mail delivery across the Atlantic. What's amazing is that he refused to patent most of his inventions, believing they should be freely available for the benefit of all humanity. As Franklin entered his middle age, his focus shifted from science and business to politics and diplomacy. Tensions were rising between the American colonies and Great Britain, and Franklin, with his fame and sharp intellect, was the natural choice to represent Pennsylvania, and later other colonies, in London. He spent years trying to bridge the gap, arguing for the colonies' rights as British subjects. He loved England, but he loved liberty more. When he realized that reconciliation was impossible, he returned home in 1775, just as the first shots of the Revolutionary War were fired at Lexington and Concord. At 70 years old, an age when most men were long retired, Franklin embarked on the most critical mission of his life. He was a key member of the Second Continental Congress. He was on the Committee of Five, tasked with drafting the Declaration of Independence. While Jefferson was the primary author, Franklin's edits were crucial. It was Franklin who, legend has it, looked at his fellow delegates as they prepared to sign the document and said, "We must, indeed, all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately." This brings us to one of Franklin's most incredible achievements. He is the only founding father to have signed all four of the key documents that established the United States. First, the Declaration of Independence in 1776, which declared the colony's freedom. Second, the Treaty of Alliance with France in 1778. This was his diplomatic masterpiece. Sent to Paris as America's first ambassador, he charmed French society. He played the part of the rustic, wise American philosopher to perfection. His wit, intelligence, and diplomatic skill were instrumental in convincing the French king to provide the money, troops, and naval support that were absolutely essential to winning the Revolutionary War. Without Franklin, the war might have been lost. After the victory at Yorktown, Franklin was there again, negotiating the third key document, the Treaty of Paris in 1783. This treaty officially ended the war and forced Great Britain to recognize the United States as an independent nation. He secured incredibly favorable terms for the new country, extending its territory all the way to the Mississippi River. Finally, having returned to America as a national hero, an elderly and ailing Franklin served as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention in 1787. He was the elder statesman, the voice of wisdom and compromise. The convention was often deadlocked, with fierce disagreements threatening to tear the young nation apart before it even began. Franklin's calming presence and timely pleas for cooperation helped guide the delegates toward a final agreement. And so, he added his signature to the fourth and final document, the United States Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Treaty of Alliance, Treaty of Paris, and the Constitution. No other founder signed them all. Benjamin Franklin died in 1790 at the age of 84. Over 20,000 people attended his funeral, a testament to how beloved he was. He was a printer, an author, a philanthropist, a scientist, an inventor, a diplomat, and a statesman. He was a man of contradictions, a moralist who had an illegitimate son, a symbol of American humility who was the toast of Paris. He was complex, brilliant, and profoundly human. His life is a powerful reminder that one person, driven by curiosity, a desire for self-improvement, and a commitment to the public good, can truly change the world. He wasn't born a founding father. He made himself one, through a lifetime of relentless effort and genius. So the next time you see his face on a $100 bill, remember the runaway apprentice who lit up the world with his mind and helped forge a new nation. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of one of history's most fascinating figures, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. Let me know in the comments which historical figure you'd like to see covered next. See you in the next video.